Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I am good and I hope everybody is doing well. You are taking good care of yourself, taking precautionary measures to save yourself from COVID-19, maintaining safe distance, and enjoying good health. I welcome you again to another tutorial of physics for grade 10. And in this tutorial, you are going to learn about digital quantities. Next, you will learn about analog quantities. And at the end, you will learn about ADC and DAC. So that's a little introduction to our lecture. First, I will give you an overview of digital and analog quantities, or you can say digital and analog signals. So let's begin our class with analog quantities. So the first question is, what are analog quantities? The quantity that has continuous values is called as the analog quantity. For example, time, temperature, pressure, distance, and sound. In simple words, you can say continuously varying quantities are called analog quantities. Or you can also say all natural quantities are analog in nature. जैसे टेम्परेचर हो गया, प्रेशर हो गया, डिस्टेंस हो गया, टाइम हो गया. टाइम जो है वो 24 घंटे बदलता रहता है, एनालॉग है. टेम्परेचर सुबह के टाइम और होता है, दोपहर के टाइम और होगा, शाम के टाइम और होगा. सो टेम्परेचर इज ऑल्सो एन एनालॉग क्वांटिटी. प्रेशर, distance, and sound. In simple words, we can say that human beings persist analog signals or analog quantities. हमारी आवाज़ एनालॉग है क्योंकि हमारा एम्पलीट्यूड, हमारी फ्रिक्वेंसी, हमारा एक्सेंट बदलता रहता है, तो ये एनालॉग है. तो हर वो चीज़ जो टाइम के साथ बदलती है या जो अपनी वैल्यूज चेंज करती है, उसको हम कहते हैं एनालॉग क्वांटिटी. In the form of a graph, how can we represent analog quantity? Let's take a look. So this is the graph of any analog quantity. A continuously varying curve or a continuously varying slope represents analog quantity. Now moving towards digital quantities. So what are digital quantities? A digital quantity is one having a discrete set of values. Discrete set means only one or two values that cannot be changed. In simple words, we can say digital quantities possess only two values or two variables, one maximum value and one minimum value. In common language, we say these values as binary variables or binary digits. Minimum value is represented by 0 and maximum value is represented by 1. So simple words में हम ये कहते हैं कि वो सब quantities जो continuously vary नहीं करती बल्कि मैक्सिमम से मिनिमम पे जाती हैं और मिनिमम से मैक्सिमम पे आती हैं, उनके इन बिटवीन, उनके सेंटर में कोई और वैल्यू नहीं होती, उन क्वांटिटीज को कहते हैं डिजिटल क्वांटिटीज. हमारा जितना भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिस्टम है, हमारी जितनी भी इलेक्ट्रिकल डिवाइसेस हैं, दे ऑल पोसेस डिजिटल क्वांटिटीज. वो सब डिजिटल क्वांटिटीज और डिजिटल वेरिएबल्स पे ऑपरेट करती हैं. डिजिटल वेरिएबल्स को हम बाइनरी वेरिएबल्स भी कहते हैं and that makes the foundation of basic electronics or digital electronics. Digital electronics उस ब्रांच को कहते हैं जिसमें हम डिजिटल क्वांटिटीज को डील करते हैं. जैसे हमारा कंप्यूटर हो गया, हमारा लैपटॉप, मोबाइल फोन, एलसीडीज, एलईडीज, डिजिटल कैमरास. अब जितनी भी डिजिटल क्वांटिटीज, डिजिटल मशीनरी आ रही हैं, वो सब डिजिटल क्वांटिटीज पे ऑपरेट करती है. So digital quantity basically consists of only two variables that are also called binary variables, 0 and 1. So let's take a look on the graph of digital quantity. As I described earlier, digital quantity has only two values, minimum to maximum, and then again maximum to minimum. There is no in between value, or there is no increasing or decreasing curve. So this is the graph of a digital quantity. Now let's compare digital and analog quantities with the help of a very simple observation. So there is a simple diagram to explain digital and analog quantity. The first one is an analog signal. Analog means the light signal is continuously varying. And the second one is digital signal, in which there is no blinking of light. Signal comes, stays, and then goes. Comes, stays, and goes. So the first is analog signal. This is analog signal, continuously blinking signal. And the second one is a digital signal. Light comes, stays, and then goes. So this is a very clear difference between analog and digital signals. Now let's take a look on the graphical differences between digital and analog signals. The first one is an analog signal. This is an analog signal of a radio station or sound signal. The values are continuously varying from minimum to maximum, and this curve contains all the numbers from minimum and maximum values. Means all the numbers that comes in between minimum and maximum. And this is the graph of digital signal or digital quantity. There are only two values. Either the signal is maximum or either the signal is minimum. So the device can be either on or can be either off. So this is the graphical difference between digital and analog signals. Once again, consider a system containing analog signals. How can we describe a system with analog inputs? So this is the example of a loudspeaker. Our voice or sound is analog signal. When we speak on mic, we input an analog signal that is operated by this voltage transmitter, and the output is also analog signal. So loudspeakers, radios, these are the examples for analog equipments or analog signals. Similarly, let's take a look on digital equipments and digital signals. Digital signals contain all LCDs, LEDs, digital cameras, digital computers, everything is going digital. So all these modern devices possess digital signals and digital electronics. Now heading towards our next topic, that is analog to digital converter, which is also called ADC. A stands for analog, D stands for digital, C stands for converter. So basically it is a circuit that can convert analog signal to digital signal, and that circuit is called ADC. The simplest abbreviation is ADC, analog to digital converter. So let's take a graphical look. So this is the analog signal that is fed into an ADC or converter circuit, and the output signal is a digital one. This is the input signal that is analog, and this is the output signal that is digital. So these circuits are very important because whenever we talk or whenever we use equipments like laptops, computers, they can read only digital signals. हमारे जो कंप्यूटर है, LCDs हैं, हमारे कैमरास हैं, लैपटॉप्स हैं, ये एनालॉग सिग्नल्स को प्रोसेस नहीं कर सकते, उनको प्रोसेस करना मुश्किल होता है, ये उनको आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर सकते. तो हम क्या करते हैं, हमने सर्किट्स बनाए हैं जो एनालॉग सिग्नल को पहले डिजिटल में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, फिर उन डिजिटल सिग्नल्स को हम अपने डिवाइसेस में, अपने इक्विपमेंट्स में ऑपरेट करते हैं, और एट द एंड वो डिजिटल सिग्नल जो है मशीनरी प्रोसेस करती है. So analog to digital converters or these circuits are very important to operate our machinery. In our daily life, we come across many devices that cannot operate analog signals. So these signals are needed to be converted into digital signals. So let's take some examples. The first example is of a mic, or you can say laptop or voice recorder or video recorder in which you input an analog signal. You speak, your voice or sound is an analog signal that is fed into a mic. Then this signal is converted into a digital signal with the help of ADC, and then this signal is again fed into another electrical device or equipment. Another example of ADC, in this example you can see a light signal. A light signal is again analog signal that is fed into an ADC, and the output is a digital signal. Digital signal is represented by zeros and ones. 0 means minimum, 1 means maximum. There is also a very important circuit that we use in our daily life, digital to analog converter. A circuit that can convert digital signal to analog signal is called DAC. So let's take a graphical look. The first one, input signal is digital, that is operated by DAC, and the output signal is analog. Let me give you a very simple example. मैं इस टाइम अपना ट्यूटोरियल अपना लेक्चर रिकॉर्ड कर रही हूँ लैपटॉप के थ्रू. मेरी आवाज़ जो है दैट इज़ एनालॉग, एनालॉग सिग्नल है वो. जब मैं बोल रही हूँ तो मेरे लैपटॉप के अंदर एक ADC लगा हुआ है, एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्टर. वो पहले मेरी आवाज़ को कन्वर्ट करता है डिजिटल सिग्नल में. डिजिटल सिग्नल का मतलब है बाइनरी डिजिट्स में, 0 और 1 में, जिसको लैपटॉप रीड करता है. जब वो डिजिटल सिग्नल में कन्वर्ट होके प्रोसेस होता है तो उसके बाद कंप्यूटर में, लैपटॉप में एक DAC लगा हुआ है. वो डिजिटल सिग्नल जाता है DAC के पास, डिजिटल टू एनालॉग कन्वर्टर के पास. वो क्या करता है, उस सिग्नल को वापस एनालॉग सिग्नल में कन्वर्ट करता है. क्योंकि मेरी जो आवाज़ है जो लाउड स्पीकर प्रोड्यूस करेगा वो भी एनालॉग सिग्नल होनी चाहिए. क्योंकि वो भी हमने सुननी है और हम एनालॉग सिग्नल सुनते हैं. तो इनपुट सिग्नल भी एनालॉग होता है, आउटपुट सिग्नल भी एनालॉग होता है, लेकिन जो हमारी मशीनरी है वो डिजिटल सिग्नल ऑपरेट करती है. तो जहां पर एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्टर होगा वहां पर डिजिटल टू एनालॉग कन्वर्टर भी होगा. So let's take a look on the example of DAC along with ADC. So this is a very simple diagram that I have explained earlier. This man is speaking in a mic. His voice is analog signal that is operated by ADC. As you can see the waveform, this is analog signal. This is continuously varying signal. Then this device is fed into a digital system. This digital system operates digital signal in the form of rectangular waveform or zeros or ones. Then again this signal is fed into DAC or digital to analog converter, and the output signal is again analog signal. Also it is modified or modulated signal, but input and output signals are analog signals, and in between there is digital signal. Everything is going to be digital now. All TVs are now being replaced by LCDs, LEDs, and digital technology. Digital cameras are now in common use. Even our cell phones are also replaced by latest technology. And that was all about digital and analog electronics. Let me summarize my lesson. We have read about digital and analog signals, digital and analog electronics, analog to digital converter, and digital to analog converter. At the end, I want that you search some more examples and applications of digital and analog electronics in our daily life. Take care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.